Artist Cathy Sutton's work strongly reflects the nature that surrounds her home and studio on Winnipeg Beach.
I do one-of-a-kind jewelry. I have a very short attention span. I don't want to do more than one. Earrings are tough. I make one, then I gotta make another one. All right, I'm gonna light this dangerous torch. It's just really a plumber's torch, but I find it works really well, and it's good and hot. So now, I'm going to gently heat up this copper. I like to use precious metals, so I use silver and copper and gold. And my designs are generally organic in nature, so I have rounded edges. For the most part, there are some squares and so on. I like to make sure that they are very unique looking and really high quality in the construction. So I'm pretty careful with how they're made. But the look is always unique and always different, and just a lot of fun. It's exciting, eh? It started about 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. I took a lampwork glass making class. And I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And I liked the idea of the beads being small. They didn't take up a lot of space. And they were useful. You could make things out of them. Unlike some of the other art that I've done in the past where they're big things. So the beads are nice and small, and I enjoyed making them. And then once I had a bunch of these beads, I started thinking, well, I've got to do something with them. So I started making beaded bracelets and necklaces and earrings using silver and using brass and using copper. And that led to getting a little more involved, starting soldering my rings together so they were more secure and not going to come apart. And then I started working with sheet metal, so sheet sterling, sheet copper, and after that it just transposed into gold, and you know, the sky is kind of the limit. I would say nature is a big influence. I find a lot of the pieces I do are earthy colors because I use copper and silver and gold, so they're very earthy colors. My designs tend to be natural shapes. I use my lampwork glass that I make that tends to be really organic as well. I like to use amber colors, and I like to use gemstones such as agates and jaspers and labradorite. It's a beautiful stone. It makes me think of the Northern Lights. It's just gorgeous stone, and you turn it and it gives beautiful lines and shimmers. They're all from the earth. So my designs kind of fit with those kind of stones. There's other things that influence too. I once made a piece of jewelry based on a chair. The lines of a chair, the back of a chair. I loved the way the lines moved. And so I built a piece of jewelry that, in my mind, represented those lines. So you never know where your inspiration's going to come from. It's just all around you all the time. And I'm piling up little bits of sterling silver. Often I'll be just lying in bed, being lazy, not wanting to get up in the morning, and I'll think of a million different things about what I could make for jewelry, different designs. Then I will draw them out pretty quickly. I'll just put them down on paper, basically what I want to do. You can see it's starting to get really hot. I'm torturing that copper. And then I'll refine them, and I may draw one sketch 15 times, refining the different lines and so on. And once I've done that, then I come out here and I start to make the piece of jewelry. There it goes. Silver's melting and becoming a puddle. I let myself play with it. So it kind of takes a life of its own on at that point. Oh, burned through. And that's okay too, because I'll do the other one the same way. The next step for this is it's got to go into what we call pickle. I'm pretty particular with it, so it's got to really feel good. I like the feel of my jewelry because that's a big part of jewelry. It's got to feel really good. All right, so I'm just going to hammer this a little bit to give it a convex surface. I found I would come out here and start working, and before I knew it, it was getting dark. So it was 6, 7 hours and I hadn't moved. Just sitting at my bench making jewelry and just loving every moment of it. It's just so addictive. My studio is at Winnipeg Beach. It was formerly a bunkhouse, and my dad had built it when I was 12. It's got a lot of stories if these walls could talk. This is a polishing wheel that I'm using. As time went on and we inherited the cottage, we decided that it would be a really nice community to live in, and so we rebuilt the cottage into a house and moved down here 5 years ago, and we haven't looked back. It's wonderful.
Prairie Mosaic is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008. The North Dakota Humanities Council, a nonprofit, independent state partner of the National Endowment for the Humanities, the North Dakota Council on the Arts, and by the members of Prairie Public.